Hey everybody, this is Robert People of RobertPeople.com, and you're listening to People's Court. Thanks for tuning in. Today is Monday, April 15th, 2019, also known as Tax Day. So if you have not done your taxes yet, might be a good time to get those taken care of. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. Hope everyone had a good weekend. It is Monday, so let's get it. This is the start of the week, so let's make it happen, y'all. What I'm here to talk about is, and speaking of let's make it happen, I'm here to talk about social media followers, especially in regards to the writing community. Now, this could apply to a lot, but near and dear to me are fellow writers, because I'm a writer myself, obviously. So what I've been seeing a lot on social media, mainly Twitter, is that there's a hashtag, writing community. That's what the hashtag is. And what I'm seeing a lot is this excessive focus on followers, on gaining followers. Almost to the point where that's the goal for a lot of writers, is let me get my follower count up. And I'm not talking about simply doing so in the midst of, of trying to gain a following to buy books, to read to read work and things like that. I'm talking about that's all that come from certain people. That is it. It's let's talk about your followers. Hey, help me get followers. I only have 100 followers. Can y'all help me get some more? My goal is to get 1,000 by the end of the month, and so on and so forth. Now, don't get me wrong. There's no problem with trying to get followers. There's nothing wrong with that. You need a following. You need people to be able to support your work. You have to reach out and be able to interact with folks. And interaction is never bad anyway. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying by, what I'm talking about now. However, let's understand something here, okay? Goals as writers, our goals should be about writing. Not trying to gain followers, not putting more emphasis on that than actually getting work done. When the question of, okay, well, what are your goals for this weekend? Followers shouldn't be what you're talking about. You should be talking about how many chapters you're going to finish in your book. If you finish the book, if you need to edit, that should be part of your goals. If you've done all your editing and you need to reach out to agencies, if you need to seek book publishing companies, if you're looking for to do self-publishing, if you want to complete that process, these are all the things that you need to be. These are what your goals should be. And I understand that there are some people who, they seek the followers and they're doing this. But let's be honest, let's be frank here. Let's not pretend that anybody's stupid here. For a lot of people, especially who frequent social media often, the entire focus is followers. Once followers are done, once those followers are there, or once there's, once the number goes up significantly, or once you reach that goal of 1,000 by the end of the month, week, or whatever you set your goal to, whatever you set your goal to be, that's it. The job is done. Everything stops then. I got my followers, and that's it. And it shouldn't be that. We are writers, right? We are writers. We should be doing more to get people to read our work. Now, granted, let's be truthful about this too. When you jump on and you talk about something in your book, you talk about your love of writing. You let's say you leave a quote from your book. You leave a small paragraph, something like that. That type of stuff doesn't get attention, right? So why do it? Why emphasize our love for writing? Why share that with people if that's not going to get the attention that you're looking for? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you do that. Because that's who you are. If that is who you are, let people see that. The right people are going to come. What good is it to have 10,000 people on your list if none of them are ever going to talk to you or buy your book? What difference does that make? Why have all those people just to be able to go to a social media account and say, wow, I got all these followers here? Interaction. Who's going to support? And that's another thing. There are a lot of folks are talking about supporting. Let's support each other as writers, thinking that following is it. That's the only way you can support. That's not the only way to support. And quite frankly, that's a pretty shallow way to support. Think about it like this, and I call it shallow, not to say that it's not important or I don't appreciate my followers, but stay with me on this one. Let's say you are an athlete. Okay, you're an athlete. You stand in the middle of the court, the field, wherever your arena is. You stand right there, and all you do is you ask people whether you're calling, you're sending messages out, and all this and that. You're trying to get people into this arena. And once everybody says, "Oh, okay, I'm coming," and they all show up, they pack the stands and fill all the seats and all this and that. As the professional athlete, let's say you just stood there after all that happened. What are you doing? And if that's too theoretical to accept, if that's something that doesn't make any sense, what you're basically doing is you're building up your fan base, but you're not giving your fans anything to get excited about. If you are a sports fan, that would make no sense, right? To get everybody to pack the stands, but then you don't do anything after that. You just kind of stand there. That makes no sense at all, right? But that's what we do. When we're putting so much emphasis on followers, but when it's time to write, we don't write, we don't edit, we don't read, we're not, doing anything. I'm not saying you got to put out this massive, 1,000 pages, before you can ask for followers. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying the job should not stop after people begin following you. Your goal should not be on followers. Again, like those professional athletes, those professional sports teams. They still go to work, whether there's one person in the stands or 20,000. They still go to work, and that's what you have to do. Sometimes you got to do that for. Well, not sometimes. Just about all the time, you have to do that before you do anything else. You go to work first, then get the fans to come in, then get the followers. And I don't blame, Robert's being a hater because of followers and all that. I'm not concerned about my follower count. I'm up to almost 11,200, something like that on Twitter. That's not my concern right now. I'm not looking to do that. Now I will push, and stay with me on this, people. Please stay with me on this. I will push people's work. I'll push books that you've written. I will push. I did this over the weekend. Someone said new follower, and I'm following her as well. Someone mentioned a book. I want to say a publishing company. I'm not sure exactly what the company was, but they basically want to turn her book into a series. And of course, I push things like that all day because that's work. Work's being done there. I don't mind that. That's what I would rather push that than to retweet and say, hey, everybody, follow this person, please follow this person. I'll do that once in a while, but that shouldn't be the main goal. That shouldn't be any of our main goals. Your goals should be about writing. What writing are you going to complete? What writing are you going to do? What editing are you going to do? If you're going to reach out to agencies, how many do you plan on doing? Let those be your goals. This is where our goals need to be. People need your stories. Okay, people need your stories. They need my story. They need all of our stories. That's what has to happen. Not this. Oh, let me get my follower count. Because once you get your follower count, what does that mean? Okay, yeah, you got your numbers now. Okay. When is the book going to come out? When is the work going to be done? Now, a lot of you may look at this one-dimensionally and say, "Oh, he's just annoyed and don't like the followers, or he's just mad because." No. Hear what I'm saying. If that's what you got, either start this over or just stop it now because you're not going to understand. But hear what I'm saying. Goals. You have to actually get out there and do something. Go to work. Give all these fans that you're trying to get something to already, to something to hang on to. Something to be fans of. If you don't believe goals are important, let's say someone was to come to you and say, hey, let's race. Go outside and race. You say, okay, sure. You go outside, you start racing. After about 10 minutes go by, you're still running. You're going to wonder, okay, all right, where's the end here? You're going to wonder where that is, right? Okay, well, where's the finish line? Right? I don't think too many people are going to just run with someone with no end in mind. Now, on the flip side, someone comes and says, hey, let's race to that stop sign. Let's race to the end of the block. Let's race to, let's run for a mile and see who finishes 1 mile faster. Well, that's a little bit easier to deal with, right? Because now you know there's an end goal in mind. There is an end. This thing will be finished at some point. So let us remember what's more important. Not building that follower count. And then we have all the followers, and then what? You never talk. You never interact with the person. They never interact with you. What did you accomplish? Number of followers means, in the grand scope of everything, number of followers means very little. If you're not selling a product, number of followers don't mean anything. Now, I know there are those stories out there and those people who, once they build their follower account, they have the silliest, stupidest thing, but somehow they're able to sell it and they've gotten, they made money off of it, and so many people hang on to stuff like that. Those instances are few and far between, and that shouldn't be your goal anyway. Have work to be able to give people. By the time, back to professional sports, by the time fans are packing those stands, work is already being done. There's already a team. There's already, games that have been played. All that has happened before the fans even start. When the NBA began, it wasn't, as popular as it is now. NFL, same thing. Major League Baseball. Fans weren't packing these stadiums and arenas when it first began. They were working before any of that even started. And that's how it has to be with us. With us as writers, we got to be working. Working should be what you're doing more of than asking for fans. Working should be it. Again, I would love, more than anything, to push work out, to retweet work, to share work. Oh, this person just finished their first book. I will share that all day. Because when it comes to encouraging other writers, that's the kind of stuff people need to hear. Not, I need some followers. What does that do? Followers don't get books written. Followers don't get screenplays written. Followers don't get poetry written. Any type of writing you do, followers don't get that to happen. You got to sit down and you got to work. Now, a lot of you may not want to hear it, but tell me if you don't want to hear this, tell me how work is done when you aren't sitting down and doing the work. You got to sit down and work, everybody. We got to do that. It's hard sometimes, I understand. Writer's block is a monster. Trust me, I've been there, done that, understand, completely understand. But what I'm trying to do with this is encourage you all to say, look, let's work. You got stories to tell. Tell those stories. Get those stories out to people. The world needs us. They need us. You're not going to get any stories written if you're worried about what your follower count is. And again, before you say, well, if I don't have followers, then the book's not going to make any difference. So tell me what you would rather have. Would you rather have a bunch of followers but nothing to give them? Or a whole lot to give and no followers yet? Because guess what? Once you have your work, the followers will come. Trust me, the followers will come when you have something to give them. But you got to start there. Don't start with just trying to build up your fan base, but you have nothing to sell. Imagine a store. Let's go another place with it real quick as I close. Imagine a store, a restaurant. All these thousands of signs, grand opening. Come get the best, I don't know, whatever it is they're selling. Come get the best of this and, lowest prices and all this and that. All this fanfare, all this and that, and all the people show up and do everything else. And once they get there, there's not a thing being sold. Or they're figuring it out while you're sitting there. How great would that be? Your favorite restaurant has a grand opening in your neighborhood. You show up. And after you're there, that's when they decide and determine what they're going to do while you're just sitting there waiting on them. Do the work first. We got to do the work first. Put the work in. Because trust me, once the work is done, the followers are going to come. Not only are the followers you asked for going to come, but the followers you're not even asking for, they're going to show up too. They're going to show up too. When that grand opening happens for that restaurant and the work has already been put in, they're going to get way more than they expected. And I've seen people even argue about this. People have even argued. Someone said, someone on Twitter a couple days ago I saw, said, I see people are complaining about those who are followers. Or saying followers aren't important. So what the hell are you on Twitter for if followers don't mean anything? And we have to get to a place where our mindsets are just different. We really do. We just have to change our mindsets, renew our minds to where we're trying to be popular with very little. We want to be popular first, do the work second. That's not how you get popular. You're not popular doing it in that manner. We look at these rare stories out there where somebody got popular over something silly. And it's amazing how we have more faith. Isn't this funny? It's funny how we have more faith in stories like that. I have more faith that I can win the lottery. I have more faith that I could put something stupid out and get popular over that. More faith in that stuff, where most of it isn't even within your control, than you have in your own abilities. You know what your ability is about. You know the work that you can put in and everything, but that's what you have the least amount of faith in. No faith in that, but in all this other stuff that you can't even control. We got to do the work. Let's do the work. Let's focus on the work. Because trust me, when you focus on the work, the followers are coming. It's going to happen. The followers are going to come. The purchases are going to come. People are going to buy your work. All that's going to happen. But if you start with followers first, that's not going to do anything. And we have to get out of this mindset of thinking that's what support means. Well, I support you because I follow you. That by itself isn't support. Did you write books for everybody to just follow you on social media? No, you wrote books to sell them, right? I mean, let's be honest. That's what we do this work for, is to sell it. People can't read your book without you selling it to them, right? So this is what we got to do. We got to get out of this. We have to renew our minds to where it's about work. Let's do the work. Let's make the work happen. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone has a wonderful day. And writers, get out there. Let's get to writing. Have a good day.